so I didn't forget. Awesome. Well, thank you for showing up. We'll get moving today. As you know, if you've seen my post or our newsletter, it's about joint mobility. So it's not just about stretching, it's about being able to move a joint in their full range. So that's one thing, moving your joint in its full range, but also eventually loading it so that you have strength and stability in moving those joints. So that's the most important part, is being able to have stability when you're moving those joints. And a jam joint is never as performant as a nice and loose, but there's also too loose, that's another talk, but a jam joint will never perform or work as well. So that's why it's important that we move our joint in their full range. That's better brain food, and the brain is really what's in charge of all our movement. So every muscle doesn't have a little brain deciding if it's moving or not. It's our brain. I like to call it our GPS, because on the bikes we all have a GPS, and that tells us where we're going. So the brain that's what's doing. So it needs good input. If a joint is jam, all these mechanoreceptors are not sending good information to your brain. So let's definitely work them. And the reason why I kind of am going to start with ankle, what are the joints that have the most mechanoreceptor joint? Because there's many the ankle, because there's many joints. So there's a lot in our ankle, our wrist, hands, spine, and basically technically our hips as well. So we're kind of going to cover all of these today. So, and then at one point, maybe we'll do a little bit of skin stim. So the input that gets into a brain first is always a stimulation, a sensory input. So sometimes that helps to do that before we move a joint for a motor control. So we might use that. We'll see. So let's just start with ankle, as I said. And what the brain likes is not just linear, in which we're really good with cyclists. We have hip linear movement with our hip, but non-linear. It could be circle, it could be figure eight. So we'll start today with the ankle. I'm not actually going to do our circle for the ankle. We'll just start with rocking of the talus. So we're going to stand for this one. For the first rock, we're going to stand feet. If I'm going to start with the right leg, the leg a little bit in front. What I want to move is, there's this joint here between your talus and your calcaneus that often gets jammed. The talus doesn't move well. So it's that little joint between the calcaneus and your big malleoli. So we're going to go leg in front. I just put a little weight. I'm not fully my 100% weight, but little weight, and I'm going to rock the ankle. So I'm rocking on the edge of the outside of my foot, but thinking that I'm opening up the joint here. So let's go 8 of them. And it's not the leg moving, because then I'm not working my ankle. It's really coming at the ankle joint. Let's just go 8. As I said, those poor joint in the ankle, the talus gets so jammed from all the walking we do and running, if we do run. So then we did the outside rocking. I'm actually going to keep you, there's 2 ways to do the inside. We'll stick in this one. So a little bit of weight in the front leg. And now think it's between the malleoli, that bone that's sticking out, and your calcaneus, where's your heel. And we want to open up that joint, rocking that joint. Once again, it's coming from my ankle and not my leg moving. So rock it. Let's go for 8. We're trying to unjam that poor ankle. It is not technically a full linear, but it's not either a circle that we're doing here. Later in the class, not today, but the series we're going to do that. Good. So about 8. Let's go with the other ankle. So once again, leg in front, a little bit of weight, not fully. And then we're going to rock towards the outside of the foot. Again, keeping the leg stable. It's really coming at the ankle joint. And we may say, oh, why do we need ankle stability and good movement, even with cycling? Well, you're doing a lot of, obviously it's linear, but we're pedaling, we're rocking our ankle or up, down. Now let's go your rocking inside if you've already done your 8. But it's also super important when we're standing up on the pedal to have a solid ankle. Good, so rock the foot in, or the foot, my bad, ankle. There we go. So we just got our ankle moved up, unjammed a little bit. Then we're gonna go with our hip circle. If you've done some of my class, you know we've done this one. So leg wide out. We're gonna work the hip, but before we do our circle, and then we're gonna go slow for the circle, I want you to kind of push your hip. I'm pushing it out to the left, push to the right. See, is there one side that, it's not maybe moving as much? And think about this one more like your hip is a ball in a socket. So the hip has the insert, and then your femur is moving here. So we want to think about the femur, the head of the femur moving. So does it feel a little sticky? Maybe, maybe not. I know I'm feeling a little sticky that side. Just check it. Good. So now let's all push the hip towards the left, and we're going to go slow for this one. We're going to then push the hips forward. So think of your hips being in the middle of a barrel, and we're scraping all the edges. Now I'm pushing my hip towards the right. Now I'm going to push towards the back of that barrel, scraping the inside of that barrel. Here we're going to want this really slow. So we'll do 3 total this direction. Forward, well, I went left first. Forward now. Then towards the right. And I'm pushing back. Good. And out to the left again, pushing, really thinking of the joint, the hip joint. That one too, we want to unjam. There we go. Finish this last one nice and slow. Before we had speed, we need to be able to be in control and full range in that slower speed. Now let's go the other direction. We were going actually clockwise. Let's go counterclockwise. Same thing, we'll do 3 of them. Try to scrape the inside of that barrel with your hips. Good. And feel if there's areas where it feels sticky, because it is possible it's sticky. So think of that circle. If there's one area that feels not really circle, but more flat, that might be in the area that we need to work, because we're not sending good, those mechanoreceptors are not sending good information there. Good. And we're going to do the 5 motion, and we're doing 2 rounds, so we'll be able to see if that gets better as we do round number 2. Good. So now we've done 3, sorry, per direction. This is where I was saying we were going to need, if you have a dowel or a yoga strap or a band. So I'll explain. We're going to work our spine. So what did I say? I said ankle had a lot of receptor because we have a lot of joint in the ankle and foot, hips, and now the spine. So we want to work our spine and not just forward or flexion extension. So I'm going to hold the dowel or the strap. I'm going to bring it up in the air. So as wide as it feels comfortable. If it's not wide enough, it's going to feel bizarre. So go kind of a big X. So I'm going to go, and I'll say it so that we can all do the same side. You're going to side bend or tilt your head towards the left. And now we're going to move the spine, each vertebrae, and we're going to go slow for this first one. At the time we're side bending, we're bending towards the left. So my left hand is going towards the floor or towards my feet. The right is up. Take a breath here. Now your upper hand, your right, is going to scoop to go over, make a circle, half a circle, and we're at the bottom here. Take a breath. And now bring the left hand so it goes up. So I'm kind of making a weird figure 8 almost. I'm side bending and I'm unwinding. I hope that makes sense, this one. So we'll do that again. Or if you want, I can go 1 and then you can make sure you're doing your hands correctly here. So I'll do this one so you can watch if you're unsure. Side bend. When I'm fully bent to this left side, my top hand, my right, is going to go and draw a big circle. And I'm going to park at the bottom. And that's the tricky part, is now my left hand goes up. So I'm side bending to my right here. That's the position I am. And I'm gonna unbend my spine. I know there's a lot of brain food with this one. So let's try that one more time. Side bend your head to the left. Left hand goes towards the left side. My right hand is up right now. It's still up in the air. Now try to bring it by drawing kind of a circle. Now I'm bending at the bottom. My right hand goes towards my foot and kind of following with my dowel. My left hand is up. I'm side bended to the right. Unwind my spine. Phew. Hope we get this one. So now we're going to go to the other side, towards the right. So side bend your head towards the right. Right hand is going towards my foot. There we go. Right hand is towards the foot. Left hand is going to go and kind of scrape towards the floor. We're at the bottom. Left hand goes towards my left foot. And I kind of move the right hand up. I'm side bending here. And I unbend my spine. I'll let you guys go for this one. Go on your own. We have two more on this side. I'll just make sure everyone's doing it correctly. So think side bend the head, side bend the spine. There we go. Good. And then kind of park at the bottom, take a breath, and kind of do not really a figure eight. It's a hard one to explain. There we go. And so we go from side bend to side bend. And we just happen to bend in the middle at some point. Okay, one more on this side. Side bend towards the right, head first, spine. If you need to park here for a second, take a breath. Then bring your hands that you're bent at the bottom. Left hand towards the left foot. Come back up. Phew, good. We're moving our spine, like I said, the vertebrae is side bending, a little bit of rotation, a little bit of flexion, a little bit of extension. So this is very good for the spine. So that was first one for the spine. Now we're going to go quadruped. And this is where I'm going to have you do one, and then we'll do some skin friction. So we're going to go quadruped. It's quadruped, hands and knees. With your feet, you can either tuck the toes under or let them flat. Whatever feels right. There's no right or wrong here. Good. So now I'm quadruped. I'm going to put my right hand behind my neck. And now I'm going to go with my right elbow, kind of going under my left armpit. So I'm going to rotate and bend, reaching my elbow under my armpit. Come back up and trying to bring my elbow towards the ceiling if you have enough rotation or as far as you can. Let's go with the other side. I just want us to have a bit of an idea how much we move. Left hand behind the neck. Reach the left elbow under your right armpit. And then come back up and bring the left elbow up. Good. So now probably you have a bit of an idea how that feels. We're going to just do a little bit of skin friction. So as I was saying, a sensory input is going to help have better motor control, better movement. So by sensory or skin sensory, or normally if it's skin on skin is good, but it's always better if there's something in between. So we're all wearing basically a shirt, so that's good. I'll make a fist, and I want you to kind of skin. It would be great if we could do the whole spine, but it's kind of hard to do it yourself. So we'll just do the lumbar area. So skin friction. Oh, look at the clock. We'll go about 15 seconds. So think of that. You're, again, sending good information for the brain to know that we're about to want to move those joints here. Good, let's go. Good. Perfect. Let's go. This movement that we already did in quadruped 5 times per side. So we're going to start with the right hand. Quadruped here. We'll go this way. Right hand behind the neck. Bring your elbow under your left armpit. And then come back to bring up. And then go again. Trying to move. If you can even try to picture that, each vertebrae I know we move them by segment, not really individually, but we get the point here. We're trying to really move them. And generally, most people, most of us, and especially cyclists, the mid-thoracic gets really sticky or stiff. And then what happens is the rest of the spine has to take over. So go for 5 only. Don't push it. Just go as far as you can. Good. Finish this if you're like me at 5th. Let's switch side and do the other side. So now it'll be left hand behind the neck and reach under and then reach up. Hopefully that's moving a little better after having done the skin stimulation, skin friction. And if our spine feels really sticky, then above or below needs to take a lot of the load. So our hips generally have to take over a lot. Good. So finish off those 5. Everyone's looking good. So now we're going to go. We did, when we were standing up, some circle with the hip to move the joint. Now we're going to go individually in a half kneeling. But I want you to keep thinking. That's my left hip. There's my ball in a circle. Well, that would be more like this. So I want to do circle in the hip joint by moving. So think of that happening at the hip joint. So it's a ball in a socket. So let's all go half kneeling with the left knee down. Don't go too narrow. That makes it a little more challenging. Kind of go wide, or what feels comfortable, so you're stable. The back foot, same thing, can be either foot tucked under or flat, whatever feels right. If you need something for your knee, put it under. So now I like to put my hand in my crest here. It just gives me a little bit of feedback that my joint is moving. So we're in a half kneeling, and we're going to try to do circles. So as I push I'm going to start diagonally. That helps. I'm pushing my hip diagonally. Where's my head? Opposite, so it's forward. And now I'm going to go behind me, then out to the side. So remember, your head is always going to be opposite, so if that's help. Now try to bring it forward. Draw this circle. So now I'm back diagonal with my hip. So try to visualize the head of your femur moving here. So making circle. It is possible. Let's go 3 or 4 because we'll do both direction. It's possible that one section may not feel too circly, if that's even a word. Feels a little sticky. I can feel some area. Good. So now we went clockwise. Let's go counterclockwise. That may even feels different. So that may be feeling a little smoother or maybe no difference. That's why we want to do it both direction, clockwise, counterclockwise. Once again, we want slow and in control, but don't push it. You don't need to crank it up. That too much load is not always better. So start where the body feels like it wants to go for today. Good. So now we're going to go with the right knee down. Let's go half kneeling. Same thing. Let's start clockwise. 3 this way, clockwise. There we go. Maybe this hip feels different. Maybe it moves better. Maybe it's stickier. Maybe it's the same. Good. I like to say we want to move like in molasses. We're smooth, slow, and control for now. Good. Once you've done 3 this clockwise, then go counterclockwise. Awesome. Good. Once again, when I was saying, like, having those non-linear movements, circles. Sometimes we do figure eights, or it's kind of like big brain food. It's like a real novelty for the brain to move the joint. So before we even go working more load, or even the hip flexion is definitely limited often for us cyclists, we need to give it that basically novelty movement. So good. So let's go back standing up. We'll redo all of these. So we'll start with the ankle rocking. So grab and go with right leg in front. Think of it, it's just a small area between that calcaneus and your talus bone. We want to rock that. So it's not the hip moving, it's truly coming from your ankle. Let's just go 5. Rocking towards the outside, opening that hip joint. Good. There's a little weight in your front leg. It's not fully unweighted. And now let's go 5 rocking towards the inside, like your arch, the inner arch. Same thing, it's not the leg moving, truly just the joint at the bottom there. That helps sometimes, just hold onto your leg, that may help. Okay, good. Okay, whoever asked, I can't see very well. The hip, I'll come back to that, but the hip that was working was the one, the knee down. We'll answer that later. Good. So now let's go with the other leg, left leg, unless you started with right or left. Same thing, leg slightly in front, a little bit of weight, and let's rock, opening the outside of that joint. And we rarely work our ankle this way. We need to not just flexion or dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. I need to have good movement in that rocking as well. Good, so 5, and then rock the inner. We'll do a little bit more next week when we start the mobility series. We'll do more of the foot, ankle. Good, great, awesome. Shake it up. Good. I know also sometimes overdoing the ankle can be a lot if we're not used to moving them. So let's get back to our good the big hip circle, not the individual. Feet wide. We're gonna rock. Let's push the hip towards the left, so we'll go clockwise. Then push it forward, scraping the inside of that barrel. Now scrape to the right side of that barrel. Back, push those hip back. Once again, think of it as the hip joint moving here. We're not just doing hula hoop. We're really moving the joint itself. So 3, like this direction. So in that clockwise. Great. Excellent. And then we'll go counterclockwise. And like I said, right now we're just doing it in a slow, controlled manner. As this become better, we feel like we have good circle, we're not sticky anywhere. Then what you can do is, by loading it means changing the speed. Or sometimes I know I'm sticky one direction, I can have a band to help me get better circle. Good. So 3 this counterclockwise. Fantastic. Good. So we're going to grab our dowel or broom or strap. That one, that was definitely a little bit more brain food to follow. So we're going to go, let's just go make sure we have enough time. 2 per side, but I want you to do them nice and controlled. So first, tilt the head towards the left, tilt the body towards the left, side bending. My left hand is going towards my foot, left foot. I'm going to park here, take a break. Good breath, and then bring that top hand, right hand, kind of draw a circle or swoop. Now I'm at the bottom. Bring my right hand towards the right ankle and open up. So now my torso is facing the camera. If that can help, that's a way to think about it. Now I'm going to unbend, unwind my spine to stand back up. Good. One more this way. So head tilt towards the left. I side bend my whole spine. You go as far as you can. Doesn't mean that your hand's going to reach the foot, but go as far as you can. Now bring that right hand swooping toward the floor. You're at the bottom. Bring the right hand towards the right ankle. Turn so that your torso's facing the camera here. My left hand is up. I'm going to unbend my spine. Whew, good. That was 2. Now we'll do 2 the other direction. So that means my head tilt towards the right. Spine, all vertebrae are slowly bending towards the right. There we go. Park here if you need to. Breath. Let it fall. We're at the bottom. Bring the left hand towards the left foot. Think of both palms now are facing the camera. I'm side bending. I'm going to unbend each vertebrae. So we're going to go one more on this side. So go side bending or tilting the head towards the right. There we go, the whole spine. There we go, and then fold forward. Good, everyone's looking good. There we go. Now move so that your hands are going to face the camera. There you go, we're side bending. Awesome, you guys, you got it. And then unbend one vertebrae at a time if possible. Good job. Awesome. Great. We don't need this one anymore. Put it down. We're going to go to our quadruped mobility here, or torso mobility. So quadruped means hands and feet. Once again, your feet, you can put them flat or tucked under, whatever feels right. You know, it's about what feels right. If you need something under your knees, that's fine. If it feels better to be slightly rocking back, that's perfectly fine too for this exercise, as long as we keep a good tall spine to start. So you can be quadruped this way or even lean back. I'm going to go with the right hand to start. We'll do 5 per side. Put the right palm behind your neck. Bring the right elbow under your left armpit. And then come back up by bringing the right elbow towards the ceiling. Pay attention. Are you further than round number 1? Good. Let's go for 5. Think about pushing the left palm in the floor also. Good. Let's go for 5. Good. Make sure everyone's good. Awesome. Good. We want just control motion. It's not about skipping through the range and going fast. Good. Awesome. Let's go the other side. So left hand behind the neck. Here we go. Tucked or bring your elbow under the opposite armpit. And open up the chest. Bring the elbow up. There we go. Let's go for 5. Good. Fantastic. I like to think of this one also super important for us cyclists. When we're looking back to see if there's car behind, or even put your hands behind your back to go get food in your pocket. Good. Awesome. Great. We'll have a little finisher for the end, but for these 5 exercises, we're going to finish with our half kneeling circle. We're going to go to half kneeling. Let's bring the left knee down. Same thing here. Put something under your knee that feels more comfortable. Foot can be flat or tucked under, whatever feels right. The circle are happening at the hip, the joint of the knee down. So this is this one here that is moving. Ball in a socket, femur moving in a circle. But even as we're doing that, the opposite is still getting some mobility too. So here we go for 5. Oh no, 3. Let's go 3 because we want to finish with our finisher. So think about driving the hip diagonally behind, diagonally, and then forward. And your head is kind of counterbalancing what the hips are doing, what your bum is doing. So there we go. Good. Whew. Once again, don't torque it. Just go where your joint is allowing you and making sure it's smooth. A smooth circle and not kind of a square circle. So let's go 3 this way, and I'll counterclockwise. There we go. Or the other way that you just did. Opposite. Good. So once again, if your left knee is down, it's the left hip really that we're focusing on. But technically, the other hip is also getting some motion. Good. Great. Whew. Perfect. Let's go with right knee down, left leg in front. Same thing, we'll go 3 one way. Let's start actually all clockwise. That makes more sense. So push the hip diagonally, scrape that edge towards the front, kind of opposite, diagonally back. Sometimes, like I said, having someone help you or attach a band, kind of that little feedback helps cleaning up the circle. So that's another way to make this work a little better. Don't push it too much. We're not about trying to win hip circle here. Just go where your body allows you. And I'll go 3 more, but the other direction. Good. Awesome. There we go. Good. So mobility is not just cranking up big range of motion. It's also being able to own those range of motion and over time add load, build capacity. And that's how we become more resilient, is if we have capacity in moving our joint and sustaining load. So that's, overall, that's what we want to kind of work, range of motion, but build capacity in those range. So I'm going to finish with a finisher. I call that my finisher, where we're going to add just a little bit of load, where we're going to move it also actively. There's many ways to do loading joints, but today I'm doing it with not forcing, flexion and then relaxation, basically, of a motion. So we're going to go on our back. So we'll do actually our windshield wiper, but on our back. So we often do it where we're just sitting this way, but I'm going to have you go all the way on the floor. Feet are, leg are bent, feet are flat, and feet are wider than my hip. A little bit, not too much, just a little bit. I'll have all of you do 1 or 2 times where we move, keeping the hip bone on the floor, but move both knees towards the right and then to the left. So just go explore how far it goes, if there's a sticky one, or maybe not. Good. So now we kind of saw, I can notice my left is a little more sticky. So keep in mind where's yours, or if there's anything. So I'm going to go and grab my right leg, and I'm going to wrap it around my left knee. I'll try to do it this way from here. That may be easier if you need to see. So the back of my right knee is going to wrap around my left knee. And the back of the right knee is going to drag my left knee towards the floor. So the left knee is going towards the right or towards the floor, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to use my left knee. Without movement, I'm just going to push back in the right leg. So I'm creating contraction here by pushing my left knee up, but it's resisted by the right leg that is over. We're holding that. Take a break. And now bring your right knee with your own contraction a little bit more towards the floor. See if that goes a little further. Hopefully that went further. Same thing, we're going to repeat 2 more times, sorry. My left knee is going to push in my right leg that is sitting there. So I'm creating a contraction in my left hip. Hold it 5 seconds. Relax. Try to bring the left knee a little bit closer towards the floor. If it doesn't go, don't push it. I'll move again. Let's do 1 more contraction. So push the left knee up against the right leg that is above. Hold it 5 seconds. Relax and see if you can bring your right knee a little bit further towards the floor. So we're doing internal, external rotation here, motion a little bit. Slowly come out of it. Hope that made sense. So we're gonna do the other leg. So my left leg, the back of my left knee is gonna go wrap around my right knee, and it's gonna bring my right knee a little bit towards the floor without lifting my butt off the floor. Now we're in position. Your right knee is gonna try to push up against your top leg. But there's no movement happening. Your top leg is keeping you in place. We'll hold that 5 seconds. Relax. See if you can bring your right knee a little closer down towards the floor, towards the left. Don't push it. Just go where it goes. Now push up again with the right knee against the top leg, holding you there. Hold it 5 seconds. Relax. See if the right knee moves a little bit more towards the floor. Maybe, maybe not. Don't push it. One more contraction. So now push the knee up towards the ceiling or against the leg, the top leg. 5 seconds. And relax. See if you can bring the right knee a little further lower or down. Maybe. And slowly come out of this. Good. Go put both feet back where we started for that. Feet flat on the floor, a little wider than the hip. Just relax here a few seconds. Here we go. Now we're going to do 5 windshield wiper per side. Again, the bum stays on the floor, and we're going to move both knees towards the left as far as they want to go, both to the right. Just go 5 times like this. Thinking again that hip in a ball in a socket, your hip joint moving here. See how far that goes. Good. Hopefully that's smoother than when we did it first. Good. So 5 to finish. Good. Awesome. Good work, everyone. Hopefully the joint are feeling better. But this is just a little something that